Hi, everybody. I told y'all I would get back to you today, and I'm getting ready to say this on my YouTube, my TikTok channel at the same time. So they're just now loading up, and I'm, I like it because when I get on, a lot of people start joining. So I'm going to share with you what happened in court today. So the mayor's person that they assigned to me, Michelle Wu, his name is Mark Washington, and they had a housing advocate there at the court today, and she was there. So when their lawyer, community builders, came over, I showed you some of those lawyer letters. Turk, hi Nova, how are you? No, it says Nova, we missed you. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I miss you too. Well, I guess you can appear from the smile on my face that things went pretty well. Now, let me tell you how corrupt, and I've been talking about this company and who I'm renting from. Let me tell you how corrupt they are. Now, the day before, yesterday, I was talking to the court specialist. Me and her got into a heated argument because she said that I was going to court for not following the judges. Hold on, y'all. Let me. My phone has been ringing off the hook. Michelle, I'm on the video. Um, I'm on a video and I'm using my phone. Let me write it down for you. Lord, let me call you right back, Michelle. I'm right at Jackson Square. She knows what Jackson Square is, right? All right, bye bye. I hope I didn't lose. Okay, I didn't lose my space. My niece is, she moved to Tallahassee, and she's on her way over to visit me. Ta-da. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so I was furious with this housing specialist because she was wondering what I was going to court for, and I said it's for the eviction. She said no, it's not. She was real feisty with me, and she said you're going to court for not following the judge's order. And that's when I did a video on this. I said, "What do you mean? I'm not following the judge's order. I'm the one that took them to court." So when we got there, they met up with me, the mayor's Mark Washington and this lady. I can't remember her name. And their lawyer came over, introduced himself, and she wanted to know what we were here for. And he said, we're here for an eviction. And she said, what? Hi, y'all. Thank you for joining. She said, what? And she said, we're here for her not following the judge's instructions on, what they're supposed to do when they get here. And then she asked me, she said, are you in the RAF too, right? He said, yeah. He said, we don't have no record that she's applied for RAF. Now, their property management down here back in December tried to encourage me to fill out a RAF application. I said, no, I can catch up on my little money I owe. I'd rather that money go to somebody's family that really needs it. Put me on a payment thing that I can catch up. They wouldn't do it. Oh, my battery saver. So my battery's kind of weak on this phone, so I lose this. I'm gonna try to talk fast so we can get it all out before this phone dies on me. I don't have anything right here to charge it with. So uh she said, how much do he owe? She owed, he said 700 something. She said, she said, why are we here? We could have settled this. We didn't have to go to court for this. This is not a thing where you would go to court for. She said, you go to court for $7,000 to fight an eviction. She was trying to ask that man, why is she even here? They crookedly used the court system to file a charge that I wasn't following the judge's order. And that's what they thought I had to appear. That's why she said, you got to prove that you followed the judge's order. See, in my videos about this pest extermination and all of that, see, they were supposed to come every other Wednesday. They came one time in February the 26th when they were supposed to be here. And they did. They came in at 9 o'clock, cleaned everything up the bins, packed them all up in my kitchen. And the exterminator's supposed to get here at 10. And I got to be out my apartment for 4 hours. The judge specifically said, I want her back in her apartment between 3 and 4 so that she can have time to prepare her meals. She said, I believe on the credibility of Mrs. McLeod, and that she said she's entitled to the same luxury and comfort as everybody else that rents from this building. So now the mayor's office has found out they're liars. Then he gonna mention, the judge told her to stop recording. She looked at me, she said, are you recording? I said, yeah. It wants me to move so I can see the comments. Hi, thank you all for joining me. This is, I'm gonna keep everything that happens, I'm gonna keep posting it, because this is like a blueprint for people that's going through this kind of rough bullshit from the courts and anything else that these people try to do to you. Okay. I'm the one that got their property management fired. So I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna go back to the conversation. She said, they're trying to get you out of there. I've been knew that. You know what I mean? Anytime you stop them from harassing you, doing that, and now you won't let, they told me, give us a chance to treat you like a human being. They need to stay here. And now they want me out because I done reached out to a third party to report them just like Peabody Properties did. Now, their lawyer told them the day that the exterminator came, the first time that I went down to their office at 8:50 in the morning. The office don't open until 9. And they got cameras everywhere. That I was yelling and screaming and hollering, when are y'all gonna get up here and pack up my stuff? And that's not my character. And I said, well, they got cameras. If I said that, prove it. The difficult part of what happened today is that when the lawyer said something, they were looking at me and saying, you have to whatever. And I said, I don't do that. And they said that I was yelling and screaming at them in my apartment. Hello, Moto. Yelling and screaming at them and all of this stuff. And I said, it's on video. So City Hall done caught him in a bunch of lies. And the lawyer said she doesn't have a RAP application on file. Well, my son has an email because I got out of court and I told him too. He's got an email stating that they contacted him and they said they've started a RAP application for me. They started a RAP application for me. And you need to go ahead and fill this out so we can get your mother in the RAP program. So that way, when she go to court, she can let the judge know that she's under RAP. Now, this is where the conflict is. Now, I'm saying that the lawyer is doing all of this. And they said, no, the lawyers get paid. So somebody else, the property management, is the one that's doing it. Then why would this girl come to me and say do a RAP program? She said they can't do an eviction if you let them know you're under RAP. So they don't want my side don't want to believe that it's the lawyers doing this. Because when they lost in court that Thursday, that Monday, they gave me an eviction notice. And I told them I also have the video where I showed it to the exterminator on the 26th of February. I said, oh, so this is retaliation. I wasn't screaming. It's on the video, my character. And they looked at it and they said, no, you don't have no reason to be up for an eviction. Hi, you all. Thank you for joining me. I'm doing this on YouTube at the same time. So, and I showed them the judge's court order. I said, this is why I had to stop y'all from coming in the day before. I said, y'all didn't see this either? They never saw the judge's instructions. Now, that same day, When I was filming the uh, exterminator, he was telling me what kind of bugs I had, what needed to be done, and all of that. So he told me before they came on February, this was in December they came. He said they would have to remove everything out of there because every apartment I go into that they have me inspect had these green beetles. But the lawyer that they have need to be fired. This is the day of judgment. This is, I mean, not judgment, but this is the day of restoration. This is the year. Everything's gonna go the other way now, you know. And the fact that this man, every time I went to open up my mouth, their lawyer would, bup, 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 bup. I said, sir, listen, I had a chance to listen to you. I said, why do you keep interfering every time I talk? You know. So he kept trying to be aggressive with them, and the housing specialist said, "We're not going to settle this today." She said, "We're going to continue this. We're going to go back in the court May 5th." She said, "Let's handle this eviction thing right now." So I'm under wrap and everything, and I'm gonna still continue to. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm gonna still continue to catch up on my own, like I've been doing. You know, the lady in the office said, "Miss," she said, "We wouldn't even do that. That's for people that's like $5,000 over, you know. But my rent is $3,000 a month, so technically, I'm not even a month behind." Because Boston Housing Authority pays the other amount. You know, I lost my voice from talking so much, but so we're gonna go back, and then she said after we get this eviction notice out of the way and they close that, we're gonna go in here on this court order that the judge did. They're gonna have to tell the judge why they wasn't coming in every other Wednesday. I got the inspector. If y'all look at that video, I mean the pest control guy. He said he was never given the instructions to come every other Wednesday. Well, why didn't the lawyer argue with that? And once the judge signs an order and you agree to it, you have to follow through. So he got pissed off. He said, "Your Honor, she's recording." It's like a little small child baby. She's recording. It just asked me, was I recording? And I said, yes. And she said, "I would advise you not to," but she didn't say not to. But with the mayor's office and everybody on my side, they told the lawyer, looking at this and seeing that she's not in court for disobeying a judge's court order, I can see why she's recording to protect herself. So from now on, every time they terminate people come, pest control, City Hall is showing up too. See, that's why I'm giving this mayor some credibility because you got some people defending me. So they're going to watch the whole procedure. Because, see, this lawyer got in there today and lied. This is why I say, stop being a black angry woman. They don't have evidence of that, but you just can't accuse somebody of something and not backing it up. If that was the case, why didn't those people come to court today and put this out there? They got cameras everywhere. And I told them, I said, look, they got cameras everywhere. If I acted like that and behaved like that, tell them to produce the video. So they told me, they said, well, if they're pissed off about you recording and asking them questions in your apartment, she said, and I meant to get one, I didn't. So I'm going to make sure I get it this time. I'm going to get some cameras and set them up in my apartment. And I'm going to let them put a little sticker on the door that this is being recorded. They said they cannot stop you from recording. And then what pissed her off even more, because she didn't know, she said, well, if you're recording, I'm in a position where I can arrest you for disobeying a judge's order. And I went back by City Hall, but she said I had to go to another lawyer and ask the lawyer, is it unlawful for her to record in her apartment? They said no, that she can record in her apartment. They're catching these lawyers and everything on lie after lie after lie. But see, this is the time for us where they cannot hide and lie anymore. So the good feeling after this, she gave me a week. They can't say nothing, but they saw through what was happening. They got me in the court today on a false charge, y'all. A false charge, saying I disobeyed the judge's court order. And she said, "This is what we're here for, right?" And he said, "No, we're here for an eviction." She nearly jumped up out of her disposition. She's like, "No, we're here for this." I don't want to repeat myself, but she said, "How much she owe?" He said, "She owes $700." She could have, if it could have affected her body, she'd have floored herself. You know what I mean? But and he kept trying to interfere in me giving an explanation for stuff. But now they want me to bring everything when I call in May, because they're going after them. They are messing themselves up every time they open up their mouth. They're causing a ditch for themselves. See, this is the year of restoration. They ain't gonna win. And I will when I get through with them. Now, just before I got on here, I called the police department, and I got it on my YouTube video. It's called a police call. And I said, look, back in December, they gave me the 2 docket police reports because the first time when the exterminator was here, I told him I have a YouTube channel, and I said, I have the right to record. And I asked him, do you mind? And then he was so helpful in his recording that he mentioned he was a mandated reporter and he had to report this. And then when they found out that the man was talking to me, they came in my apartment. Now that's illegal because they didn't give me 24-hour notice. They had to do it when the exterminator was coming in. But once it's done and you have to vacate the apartment, I was in my right to ask him about the thing. This motherfucker came in my apartment 5 motherfucking times. And then I snapped. I said, why are you doing this? It's on a video. I said, you just can't keep running in and out of my apartment like this. I said, why are you here? He said, management told me to come. And each time he's coming in, he's come, telling the exterminator, come, you know? And they got pissed. Okay. So they took that and they picked up on it and added that to this court hearing today about me recording. See, they don't want me to bring evidence that can defend myself. So now what they have to do, if they have to contact me, they have to do it by email. And I have to respond to them. I email them back. That way they can't lie on me anymore. So like I said, they keep digging graves for themselves. And by the time we go back to court, all these lies they're catching them in and the abuse of the court system that they're doing. Hi, you all. Thank you for joining. If y'all don't know what to do, follow these videos and I'm going to tell you what to do, because if I win in this, victory is ours. You know, I'd rather take some money and buy some acres with and set up put it towards some new black Wall Streets. Shit, I'm almost gone anyway. Why wouldn't I go out with a bang? Leave a legacy behind me. You know, something that's going to help my people. Because I can't go to the grave with me. And and my family is comfortable. You know, but you would help. But I'm not even going to go there with that because I know what's coming. I've been suffering from this too long. And I've stood the fight. And I'm going to fight to the end. All my videos, I keep telling them, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. You're not going to come in and lie on me. My mother raised me with integrity. Okay. Ooh, I looked just like my mother when I did that. Integrity. And I'm going to fight the good fight. Okay. I'm going to fight the good fight. So I had a blessed day today. We had a good session today. That lady, that housing specialist said, no, we can't mediate. Mm-mm. She said, we can't mediate. She said, we're going to have to come back to court. They thought that they would get with the lawyers and resolve this, but now after the fact, you can't lie to government officials. They saw right through them. So I just got back a little while ago. I got my niece getting ready to come. I'm going to call my sister, make sure she got my correct address. I didn't want to put it out here because I don't know who'll be popping up at my house, but this building is so secure you can't even get in there. And to add to the bogus lies, so this lady said she's going to call the protective agency because they're coming in and they're now assigned to me for this garbage that they keep doing to me. She said, Miss McLeod, you need the therapy of someone that's been raped, shot, mugged, whatever. What they've done to you. Now, this is the protection agency. When they get through with them too, oh, well, I got to go to a therapy session tomorrow. They're going to send a lift for me, take me there, because they're going to study the results of this depression that I'm in. I can now let the Adult Protection Agency know that, because I told them, you know what, this is too stressful to handle with one person. And then the go to court, they lied. They got, and she said, I got a charge down there that I haven't been cooperating, letting them in. So they went back in 2010. They went back in October of 2020 and used that case where they said that I wasn't being cooperative. But like I shared with y'all, I was after that assault in February. Now this is back in October, but it was the same year in February. They barged in my apartment, caused me to stumble backwards. And took me a year to do the police report. But anyway, the detective Becker came out and said he knew he couldn't close the case. So he said he charged them with assault with a deadly weapon in my door. He never met with me. He never met with my witness, my son who was here. So he invented his own charge to protect Peabody Properties. Okay. That's why I called the cops today. And I said, look, they're continuing to come in my apartment without authorization. So I talked to the lady at the detective department. Y'all should go watch that video. It's called the police call. And I'm asking, why haven't y'all come? And I said, because they just now did it yesterday. And these are some of the evidence I need to show them that when I yelled at them to close my door. And I yelled at her yesterday because she kept telling him to just spray. She used up her time. She was only supposed to be here for an hour. Once the exterminator got here, then they didn't have any legal reason to come in my apartment. They didn't even knock on the door, and it's recorded. This is why the lawyer don't want me recording. But the judge said, she did not say she didn't want me to record. She would, she said, I should, she didn't say refrain or anything, but she said she would prefer if I didn't, but not in those ways. But it's not in the court order. Everything that was supposed to have been done, that's another thing that a woman from City Hall was arguing with them about. She said, there's nothing in this thing that says she can't record. He said, well, the judge said it. But she said, there's nothing in this that says she can't record. Ooh, I hope they fire them lawyers because they ain't winning in this motherfucker. I'll tell you, they ain't going to win this motherfucker. So I'm going to go ahead and relax, take a breather, And I'll keep y'all informed on the next episode of Beverly McLeod. Y'all have a great day. I love y'all. Spirit and God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. I done got lawyers disbarred. I done got 2 managers fired. I got I sued TG Day Max and one. Bath and Body Works. No, Bath and Body Works. Well, no, it was Linens and Things and Rainbow for racial discrimination. I don't play. My mother taught me to be proud of who you are, and you don't let nobody. I don't care what they say, you find it out for yourself. And if you're right, and you've been telling the truth, that's your dignity, and you stand on that, and you don't let nobody put stuff on you or in your mouth that you didn't say. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Missing you, girl. But I love y'all, and I'm so happy. So I'll let y'all know what happens. Damn, I love y'all so much. It's hard for me to even let this video go. Oh my God. I'm gonna see if I can call some names here. Hi, Miss Max. How are you? You know, I'm not good eyesight, and y'all got some names I don't even know how to pronounce. Hello, Mr. Al Monroe. And OLAs. Oh my God. Musk. Y'all keep following me. Share these videos. I want to get this up, because my life right now and my mission is I got that kind of heart. So that's why it's so out of my character to say that I'm yelling and screaming. So they want to paint me the angry Black woman. But like they don't know, I ain't got to be no angry Black woman. See, they want to use that against you. So that what it's called stereotyping. See, they want to see you cuss and fuss and argue and waggle your head and all of that. But no, I'm going to talk to you nicer than you would talk to me. Because then I go, what? I'm sorry. Why are you getting so upset? And honey, when you go off like that, they get madder and madder and madder. I like watching them, especially white women, because they think they got all the answers, and whatever they tell you, you don't question them. And then I'm saying, and I got this from my mom, you know, she's a businesswoman, you know, so she had to patronize customers, you know, and you got to keep that smile or whatever. So I learned this growing up in her beauty salon. And I always carried this character around with me. And I tell you, it works, because then there's nothing they can use against me to say that I was doing this. See, because that's what they want to use against Black women. They think that you do something, we're so out of control. God bless, because we need to be a little bit out of control. And when I tell them to get out my apartment, I ain't say get the fuck out, or you motherfuckers, or none of that. I didn't say none of that. I said close my door. Close my door. Is that rude? She's not even supposed to be in here. So that's why I had to call the police, and I said, look, this has been going on forever. How long is it going to take for you all to file criminal charges? And when is the detective going to come out here and talk to me? So she told me, she gave me the 2 police report numbers. And she told me that my son could go and get these police reports. And then we're going to submit them to the detectives. Somebody going to go to jail. And why can't I get the same treatment as everybody else? But love y'all. I got to go. See you later. Bye-bye. And I'm going to start sharing these. Y'all have a great day. I cut YouTube off. Thank you all for listening and letting me come into your homes and your lives and share this with you. Because, see, somebody got to know that if they're going through this, somebody else needs to know somebody else is going through it. And somebody else needs to know that there's help out there. So you don't have to go and feel like you're being defeated and all of this. There's steps to take. And these videos will help you take those steps. And whatever the outcome is, if it's my victory, it's y'all's victory. If it's my victory, it's y'all's victory. Okay? Because we got to get together, pull together, and help one another. That's what God put us here for, you know. And I'm going to follow God's covenant. Okay? I'm going to help my people so that we don't have to go to anybody and depend on anything. If I got to buy 1,000 acres and farm it all so that we can have vegetables or whatever, at pennies of a cost, because somebody got to work the shit. I'm too old to work it. But that would be my blessing and my love for God, that I would do this. That's just the person I am. That person that they were describing in the courthouse of the people. It's not me. And I said to her, I said, look, they got cameras everywhere. Tell them when they come to court, when we go to May, in May, bring the evidence. Because hearsay don't mean shit. That's why I'm keeping my evidence out here for everybody to see. Love y'all and goodbye. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go find me something to eat and watch a movie. Bye. Don't laugh at my laugh.